Now taking part in development camp as a coach. So, Gio, thanks so much for joining us. First of all, what was that like for you to be a part of development camp from the coaching side?
It was definitely weird being a part of, those practices and whatnot as a player. To be flipped on the other side of it was definitely a new experience for me. And as I'm sitting here trying to contemplate where to go with my career and whether it's at the end or not, it was good for me to get my foot in there and kind of see what that was all about.
Brian, with that development camp, where's your focus for the future? Still skating, trying to catch on maybe with an NHL team, or do you want to focus on that coaching side?
Yeah, it's I'm not quite sure. I'm trying to figure that out right now. I've still been training, but I had a unique year last year and with the Olympics and signing with Boston late, and had a ton of fun. Was able to be around my family a lot last year, and so the main focus right now is my family, my kids, and trying to figure out what's best for everyone involved. And I've had a great run and played a long time in the NHL, and if this is the end, it's the end. But we had a mutual thing with the Sabres to we talked and said, why don't you come out for development camp and see how things go and see where you want to be and keep the door open and keep the communication open. And it was a great experience for me to have, and I appreciate that opportunity as well.
And what a great opportunity for some of those young players to be around a guy like you that led that team for so many years and did so many good things both on and off the ice. But what was it like for you to get a look at Rasmus Dahlin up close and personal?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, first of all, you have to put it into perspective. He's an 18-year-old kid, but he's got a ton of composure. And at a development camp, you want him to stand out. You want him to be your top player, and he was. And, I think the future's bright for the young kid, and he seems to have his head on his shoulders great, and he's got a ton of talent, ton of skill, and obviously he'll be given that opportunity to show it next year.
Brian, if you did go to the coaching side, what would you be your style? What you've had a lot of coaches over the year, a lot of players. What would you try and impart on these young Buffalo Sabres?
Well, I'm not sure. I think you got to, like anything else, you're coming into your own. You're trying to find your niche, your groove, maybe your voice as a coach, or maybe on the development side, maybe it's more of a mentoring side. I'm not quite sure where to explore right now, and I think last year being able to skate with the Amerks was a good step in trying to figure out where I wanted to be. Training with those guys all season long, being close to those guys, kind of being a mentor to some of those guys was big. Whether you want to be a part of it day to day in the coaching aspect, I'm not quite sure, but I think you got to find that voice, find your way, find your groove. It's just like being a rookie all over again.
There were a lot of lean years for Buffalo, 7 straight years now that they've missed the playoffs. And I know you were part of the rebuild, the struggle there in Buffalo. They want to see a team get back to the playoffs. So with all the changes that we just mentioned, the additions and the subtractions, what are your impressions of the Sabres going into this year?
Yeah, well, obviously, with the management changes last summer and the coaching changes again last summer, they had to come in and figure out what things where the organization stood, how the players stacked up, where everybody fell. And I think now you see Botterill taking his steps, making this his own team, and moving it towards the future. And with the moves they made this year, obviously they're trying to get better, a little younger, a little faster, and Dahlin helps that. But the depth is the biggest thing, and I think they're trying to address that right now.
Brian, in that development camp, is there one player that maybe stood out to you?
Besides Dahlin, maybe.
Besides Dahlin, yeah, we'll leave Dahlin. We know that Dahlin's probably going to be a generational player, so we'll leave Dahlin off that list.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Samuelsson was another big name coming into that camp, and I'm probably going to butcher his name. Palat there was another young kid, defenseman that, he showed a lot of great promise there. But like I said, it's about developing those kids. It's about giving them a chance and for them seizing that opportunity. But obviously you want some goaltending to hiccup and pick up there. But I think that's what Allmark's there for too.
Drew, it looks like you have a pretty sweet office set up there at home. Can you tell us a little more about what's going on with you this summer and your off-season plans?
Yeah, enjoying the lake. I'm up on the lake out just outside of Rochester, and we're right on Lake Ontario, and so we've actually had a great since the kids been out of school. The last month has been unbelievable. The weather's been awesome. The lake has been calm. So we've been kneeboarding with the kids, tubing with the kids, throwing the jet ski around with them, just enjoying lake life with the family.